So hello and welcome to Limitless Talk with me, Katie, and again I've got another returning guest who, since I asked her to come on the podcast for the first time before, we've kind of got chatting back and forth, staying in touch, which has been obviously personally fantastic since the last time, but having Alanna Goddard of AJ Health back on the podcast was a no-brainer. We talked about it for ages and the opportunities came up now and perfect timing for it. So Alanna, you're back.
I am back. It's excited to be back.
Yeah, it's so exciting. You know, for anyone that hasn't listened to our previous episode a few months ago, we spoke a lot about, you know, me and Alanna both been through similar journeys of having good relationships with food, good relationships with our bodies, but also not having the best of relationship. And we both know others that have experienced the same, or we've coached others that are the same, and we can just see and understand differently because we've also been through it. So and I was saying to Alanna before we started this, you know, how to kind of look at it in a different way, and certainly a question that I was asked by Yasmin and Zoe on a podcast that we've just done, you know, about wanting to change things. So why not share this conversation with Alanna? She's certainly the better one to have it with. So Alanna, welcome back officially. I better welcome you first of all.
I know. And it's so nice to be here and be back on the podcast. You're so good at it. You've just got away with asking questions. Like, I feel like if I was doing it, I'm like, oh, but you're so natural at it, and it makes the conversation it flows a lot better, and it's just really good. You're very good at what you do.
Either nosiness or curious, I'm not sure. Sometimes we'll see. I'm not quite sure, but when I was thinking about, like, obviously since we've done the podcast, you know, we speak back and forth quite regular, and obviously that's, for me, that's such a win and such a great thing to come out of reaching out, I suppose. And you know, I was thinking about it, and I was like, how did me and you, or anyone with like a bad relationship with eating, an eating disorder, or however we defined it or didn't define it, I suppose, like, how did we get to a stage of being kind to ourselves? Because I feel as if I was like a bad bitch to myself. Like, that's how I feel. It's like, I'm so bad.
Yeah, it takes time, doesn't it? And I think, like, I love the analogy of, like, your brain is like a computer, and we just need an update. You get used to patterns and the way that you think, the way that you see yourself, the way that you talk to yourself. And I think there's so many things that can influence that. And if you're not aware of it or allow it just to kind of run, that is what your brain is essentially going to believe what you're telling it. So I think it can be hard, especially if you're somebody who's like had that habits ingrained with you certainly for years, like I did. And it's not easy. It's not easy to, you know, I think there's this kind of idea like, oh, learn to love yourself. And for a lot of people, like, some people might not get to that stage where they absolutely love themselves, but there comes to a point where you can actually accept who you are. And that's certainly been the case for me. Like, I don't absolutely love myself, but I can appreciate and accept where I am. And I think it's when, and again, certainly for me, when you stop chasing this almost perfect version of the person that you think that you should be. You know, I did a post this morning and it's like, I'll be happy when. And it's just, yeah, it's a long journey, but I think you can get to a place where if you don't necessarily love yourself, you can learn to accept yourself. But how do you get to that point? It is just time. And I think acknowledging where you are and knowing that you want to change, like knowing that you've got to that point where, is the way that you're thinking actually helping you? Is it serving you? You know, is it kind to you? Well, no. And I think for me, it was certainly that I wanted to change, because I was like, my life is going to be here and gone, and, you know, before I know it, and I don't want to feel like this. So I made the conscious effort of wanting to change. That wasn't easy. And it still isn't easy. I can still get days where I don't feel great about myself. I'd be lying if I said that. Mm-hmm. I think it's having that awareness of when I am sort of maybe speaking to myself like that. And obviously, if you're female, have a period, hormones come in, so that can obviously have an impact too. But it takes time. I think that's a roundabout way of, it takes time.
Yeah, I think the best word is, like, my mum has a problem with it, is patience.
We all do.
Yeah. But yeah, do you know, I think I've got, like, obviously I'm kind of 3 years of the better side of kind of overcoming a lot. And I feel only now, or maybe in the last year or so, I know I've said this to you before, but like only in the last year have I really got that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not saying it's good, bad, right or wrong, or oh that's terrible that it's taken you 2.5 years. Like that's what it means about time. And I loved your post this morning. It was like, I am happy when. I was like, when am I happy? Or when did I think?
Yeah.
Was I going to be happy when I was like, when you could see the bones kind of coming out my skin? Was it going to be when I thought I had abs, or you know all these like that? Because you do get into that like mindset and things like that. And I suppose it comes on to like, I love how you've put it before as like the word rigid.
Yeah.
And my psychologist described it as you're in such a military state of mind. Like the military has this like, do this, do that. You're doing it like it's so
conditioned.
So conditioned that, you know, I feel that certainly with my eating at times it was very, very rigid. Like I know I've said to you, I could rhyme off right now, A, what I had in a day to eat or not eat, B, what every calorie of the foods that I ate.
Yeah.
And probably when I'm having a bad day, like, because I don't feel good in myself all the time, I could easily go back to that rigid, military conditioned version. And it's like, I always wonder, like, do you think there's a reason why we become like that? Do you think it's because we think that's what we can control, so we become that?
I think a part of it is a lot because it is something that you can control, and I think it's a way for people to express emotions, well, whatever that is. You know, some people will display it in other ways. Like you'll have people who maybe, you know, go to alcohol. You'll have other people who go to drugs. You'll have other people who will, you know, online shopping or whatever it is. But it's, for me, certainly, and from working obviously with a psychotherapist and stuff, it is a control thing. And I know because it made me feel safe and in control, because I was like, that's what I'm having. And that just gave me like structure and a plan when maybe I felt things in my life weren't in a structure, or I felt like everything was going fine. That made me feel, well, this is the one thing that I know I'm doing.
Yeah.
That gave me a bit of, even though it wasn't helpful, it just gave me a bit of comfort, weirdly, but it did.
I felt like a win. Like obviously a win to me now is like getting, like lifting on a deadlift, like lifting it in the numbers that I once ever dreamed of. But back then it was like, oh yeah. And it was like manipulating, like patience. You need to be patient now. Very good at manipulation. Very good at being military conditioned.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, no wonder you get yourself in that kind of controlled state. I suppose I think sometimes if I think back, it like made me feel as if I was winning.
Yeah, you feel like you feel like you're powerful is the way I used to describe it. Like I was like, oh my God, yes, I'm doing this, success, tick, achievement, boom. When really now looking back, I'm just like, I think of it completely different because it obviously impacted my health. But I think we spoke about that in the first episode. Certainly, I thought that was just the way I was going to think because I had conditioned myself to think and be and just follow in that line and do the things that I was doing, and I didn't see it any other way until now. And I think, oh my God, how did I go to the gym 5 times a week? How did I only eat, you know, the lowest amount that I ate? How did I just not stop? And I'm like, wow, like it's only you actually then start finding that balance. It's, you realize, hey.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Sometimes that, and sometimes like, are you ever embarrassed about what you looked like or how you felt or what you were doing? And it's like, no. But I think like someone asking, I think they're naively asking. I don't think they're asking out of spite or like ignorance or anything. I think it's just, I could never describe, like you'll not understand that I don't feel embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like I wasn't capable really to think.
Yeah.
About much. I don't even think I was able to think about the military condition everyday life it was, but I've never felt embarrassed about it. I don't know how you feel, or do you like how you would feel, you know, when you think about it now?
No, I think I almost just like, I feel like, and it sounds like so, but I'm like, I just feel compassion for my younger self because I think, God, I allowed myself to get to that. And it's only now that I look at it and I think, geez, but I never, like some people will say to me, because obviously with having an eating disorder, like you can't always tell if somebody has an eating disorder by the way that they look. Certainly for me, I had anorexia and orthorexia, so you could visually see that I wasn't well. I did not see it. Hand on my heart, did not, you know, when I was looking at myself, I was just fixated with my body becoming smaller. Parts of my body were getting smaller that I didn't like. I felt powerful. And I never felt, you know, looking at myself, oh, like I don't look well, or, you know, I was tunnel visioned, if I'm honest. It was like,
Same with
anybody
me.
something to me, and I had that blinkers on, like, oh, you don't look well, whatever. Oh, you need to just don't care. Like, I believed what I was doing was right, and there was nobody going to tell me otherwise. Even if someone said to me, you know, you've not got your period, like that's not healthy, I'd be like, whatever, I'm doing this. Like,
I'd be like, woohoo, not getting a period this month. Like, don't need to go through all that hassle as a woman. Obviously, I'm not going to explain what women go through if a man listens to it, but like, I'd be like, woo, can I see, like, kind of what I said before, like, seeing it as a win.
Yeah.
I think you probably do understand. Yeah, if you're someone listening to this never experienced it, we're not saying that, you know, you don't understand what we mean or what we're talking about or anything. It's just sometimes some things are hard to explain or hard to understand. I think you need to be in it to understand it.
Yeah.
And I think like coming through or overcoming it, I'm learning all these new words about it, like overcoming it, or, you know, I think younger self, like I'm doing a lot of work in therapy just now, and a lot of it is like my younger self has an understanding of my adult self when I'm maybe having a bit more of an anxiety moment or you know, a little moment of low mood and things like that. So I have this little thing where it's like visualization and visualize. It's a set of chest or drawers, but younger Katie is behind the set of chest or drawers, and adult Katie can go in and spend some time with younger Katie because younger Katie understands.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing about it is, my psychologist was like, and what's in that space? And I was like, there's a kettle because we have a cup of tea because that makes us feel nice and warm. There's blankets to make it cozy. We could watch Netflix if we wanted to. And then the other thing was like, oh, and there's biscuits, there's chocolate, there's a sweetie, there's a pizza oven, you know, like all that sort of thing. And I was like, you know, there's one time that I would never been at peace at having all that and just being okay about it. It wasn't like everything else, like that, but having the food, like the food was such an important part of that visualization in that moment of the relationship I have with my younger self. So I think it comes on to like body peace, you know, like that zen. Like if we were to describe body peace, or how could we describe it to give kind of someone an idea of what body peace?
Body peace, again, it's I think certainly for me it's that acceptance of your body and not feeling the need to constantly change, criticize, or judge it. It's that level of acceptance that you're okay. You don't have these kind of pressures to feel like, oh, well, you know, maybe catch yourself in the mirror. Oh, I don't like what I see. Maybe I should diet. Someone in the workplace is dieting. Or maybe I should do that. It's peace is just almost that grounding of, I am where I am. I accept my body. I'm grateful for it. You know, you may not love it. I've said that a few times, but I almost feel like certainly for me, feeling free and feeling grounded in the accepting of my body without these need to change or anything like that. Certainly that would be the peace that I would describe for myself.
Yeah, I think I would. I want to nod like lots and lots about it, because I think I'm the same. Like I think for me as well, as obviously I've told you before, like I don't have a great relationship when it comes to tracking calories, and I hate it because it just reminds me of lying to people and not, you know, being dishonest and being that blinkered. Like no, I'm doing what I'm doing. And I think I'll be honest, I think for this year, the last time we had a conversation, I said I'm not tracking again. Since then, I had a kind of low start to the year, and it was like, no, we need to do something different. So I have tracked. I'm kind of on like a 12-week thing at the moment, and I'm now on day. Hold on, I count this because it's on the board behind the screen. Is that out of the last kind of 70 days per se, give or take, I have tracked 56 so far.
And how have you found it?
Easy. Right, there we go. Easy. Not moaning about it. Not complaining about it. Educational. Capability. Beneficial. Confident. And kind of like that future version of myself is kind of already saying, well, I told you so. Because it's allowing me to go into the gym, for example, and lift numbers and weights that I've never done before. Like I used to be the girl like a few years ago that would sit in the gym and watch maybe other women or other guys doing that. I'd love to do that one day, but just accepting that I never would. And now I am that person that maybe someone else is watching and I'm getting to do it on the numbers. And it's like, oh wow. It's also allowing me to then in my role and in my job as a funeral director, let the hard work of the physical health and the fueling the body rather than just eating for the sake of eating, like fueling my body, to be a part of the manual handling of what, again, I wouldn't be able to have done before. And it's like having this effect in all areas. So I think then for my body pieces, allowing my body to move and do and be capable of what it craved at one point and wanted to do, and I was depriving it of it. Whereas now, I think body peace is a team between my mind, my head space, my body, and my life. I think it comes down to my 4 factors for me, because if they're not in a line, or if one of them's not having a good day, it is going to be off. And I actually realised when I started tracking that I still wasn't eating enough, and I had to like say to my coaches, listen, I've just did 3 days where you've asked me just to give you the overall calorie of what I'm having, and I was at least 500 calories short. And I was like, shit. Like shit. And I felt as if like I've overcome it, but I was like, oh wait a minute here. So I had to kind of ask myself, like, how can I find peace with myself here? And it was like, Katie, you're just going to have to accept for where you are, acknowledge that you're still not where you want to be. You're better, but you could be also better. And that you need to gain kind of some peace with where you are, but accept that it can get better. And like, I've done a charity cycle since then, like done all this stuff, sign up for more event. Yes, I'm kind of got a bit of an, but it's amazing how that body peace probably isn't just body peace. It's how you can find it within your life as well, and that just comes from really putting the effort in. I think we have me and you don't have it easy. I have days where like I don't want to get out of bed, and you want to go back to familiar behaviours because they're just there. They're just waiting to come out. They're desperate to come out. They're like locked in a cage. But Yaz and Zoe asked me this, like, it's why did you want to change? And I was like, well, I actually wasn't capable of changing myself. Like, I had to do it for I did it for my parents, like that, because I wasn't capable of, I think, of doing it for myself, whereas they were a reason to do it. But I didn't value myself, and I didn't have peace with myself really, because I was so blinkered in this kind of thing of like, no, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, regimented, all of that sort of stuff. But if someone can, you know, kind of gain that time, or go through the time and patience of it, like, how can we use this conversation right now to like give some wisdom on that?
I think I want to unpack like what you've said, because you said some good
go for it.
This is me trying to remember someone who's got the memory of a fish. I find it really interesting the way that you spoke. So you said in the past that you found tracking was something that you weren't able to do. You found it really, really hard. And you then obviously have started tracking. And was that for a specific goal? Is my curiosity with that. Like, did you have a goal? Like, was it like, I want to get stronger? Like, did you feel that I couldn't reach the goal I wanted to reach without having to obviously eat more and stuff? Like, what was the thing that made you realize, like, actually, no, I'm going to track food? I'm really interested in that.
So it was 2 things. It was getting injured at the start of the year and not being able to do running. I was supposed to have a half marathon at the beginning of April. We couldn't do it. I was supposed to do a 10k at the beginning of February and go for a really, really quick time. Obviously couldn't happen. I had the charity cycle at the end of March, and I felt lost. And I had to go through the low point and have a conversation. I was almost giving everything up, just to give a bit of the backstory to that. But on the other side, like, well, what can you focus on? It was getting asked that question. What can you focus on? Do you know that you can make progress even though you are injured, and you can make some like shit hot progress here? It was like, what would you want? And I was like, right, okay. Well, I've always wanted to be strong as fuck.
I want to be strong.
I want to be strong. Like, I want to be strong as fuck. Like, I love watching the strong men on the telly, and I'm like, how do they lift? And I was like, I want it. You know, obviously never going to be like that, but I want to be stronger. And it was like, right, okay, but do you realise that in order to be stronger, you are going to have to feel for it? You can't manipulate it. You can't play at it. You can't basically talk the talk and not walk the walk. And it was like, right, I'm going to have to walk the plank here and hold on to that plank on the pirate ship for as long as I possibly can. And there's a bit of stubbornness in me sometimes. I feel as if I get this dark energy that I'm like, I'm going to prove a point here. And that was the only reason I was like, I'm going to prove the point that I can get strong. And in 4 weeks, I was the strongest I ever was. And it wasn't like trying to prove, oh, you can do it in a short space of time. That's not what I mean when I mean that I was stronger. I was stronger in my relationship with tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tracked every single day. I was stronger because I was able to communicate the fact that I still didn't like it, give me guidance, being held accountable, having the right support and the right people to help, kind of realising a lot of realisations and lessons of actually how this can be beneficial for just more than in the gym getting strong as fuck, shit hot Katie. And actually it giving me the chance to do something really different. Like if I want to be an everyday athlete, if I want to go and do high rocks, if I want to run all these events, like I have to. I can't get away with it. You can't. There's only so much and so long that you can get away with stuff. And something just clicked. And it was watching people like doing high rocks, and I was like, well, I want to be better on the ski erg than you. And you do high rocks. Like I never will, but thinking that I already was, kind of like having an ego, but not really having an ego. I was like, well, I hate the rowing machine and I think I'm crap at it, so how can I be good at it? And then like visualising on the bike, like actually visualising doing the charity cycle. Like doing all these weird wacky things, sitting in my bed at night watching how someone does the ski erg, how they do it really well, and then someone that does it really, really bad. And then it's like, I wonder if I can lift that weight. And I would stare at the weights. Like I would sit on the bench in the gym. This is how like little things. So I would sit on the bench in the gym where the weight is that I wanted to get to. So I wanted to do incline dumbbell chest press. I stuck on 10 kilograms and then 12.5 kilograms for so long. So I sat in front of the 15s and I was like, you and me, I'm going to lift you. And then one day it just like, I'm going to try it. Tried it. And then it was like a set of 8. Then it was 2 sets of 8. Then it was like a set of 6 1 week. I had to drop 1 week. And then the week that I got the 3 consistent sets of 8, I was like, that's because I ate food. That's what I was thinking in my head. It wasn't because I'd worked hard in the gym. It was because of everything else that I'd done out with that. And it felt as if that was my biggest overcoming moment in my journey with food. I don't talk about it that much because I do feel that sometimes I would never be a hypocrite because I think I'm still going through a lot and still overcoming a lot, even though I'm in a better place. But I think that just goes through the growth that you have within yourself. So that was my reason for it. And see when the day was like, well, this is actually really, really easy. Like, look what it's actually doing for me. It's helping me sleep. It's helping me go and lift the weights. It's helping me be who I need to be at work. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm actually getting to test myself, and I'm testing. I think scarcity as well. Like, put myself out my comfort zone. You're never going to progress in life if you don't put yourself out your comfort zone. If we all stay in our comfort zones, we're going to be bang average and quite boring. And I think I'm already that, so I don't need any more incentive to be like that. It's so easy. But yeah, kind of long story short, yeah, that is the background of how like my mind works when it came to doing that. And I've not stopped.
Yeah,
I've not stopped. It's pivoted because I'm training for my half marathon in June now, and my calorie intake is different in different days, so that's a new challenge. But I'm tracking it daily, tracking it weekly, sending it to the coaches weekly, asking the right questions. I asked them, I was like, what do you guys eat in a day? Because I just needed to know. I needed to gain clarity. I needed to understand someone else. I needed to know what someone else ate in a day just to sort of satisfy and maybe reassure myself, maybe.
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? How your brain, not your brain, but just the brain works. Like
computer. Yeah. Mine would be one that you, like, if it was an Apple, you would send it to Apple and you probably wouldn't get it back for quite a while because they would have to do some like really interesting like research to like reprogram it or reset it or something like that. But it's just amazing how mine works different to yours works different to Sheila or whoever it is, in our own wee ways, but we can all connect at the same time and learn from one another. So yeah, my brain is weird, wacky and curious.
There's nothing wrong with being curious. I think it's so amazing that, like, what I say to people, the power of nutrition is incredible. When you actually start feeling yourself properly, what your body's actually capable of doing. And you've clearly found that with you starting to eat more. And I completely get it as well, because you will be stronger, you will feel better, your energy will be better, you'll be showing up better, you'll be able to concentrate better. Like, it's not, you know, like we say, just the gym, it's every other aspect impacts on your life when you eat well and eat to fuel your body. Like, it's so important. And you've experienced that, I've experienced that. And, you know, I'm sure people who are going on that journey, it is a scary thing to eat more. 100% it is. It's just like you say, it's the time and the patience to get used to doing the things that are scary that then become normal. They then become not scary because you're used to doing them every day. And then they become less of a big deal.
Yeah. And it's like, I think it's how we're both being really, really honest, saying that, you know, not every day is a good day. Like, I considered yesterday, for example, like not a great day for me. But I still ate my calorie count. I had 2 gym sessions to do. Hectic day at work. And it was like, obviously I didn't want to do any of it. I would have gave up the eating if I, you know, I would have, sacrificed a lot of things and just went to bed and everything like that. But that's where, through time, you learn you still have to do things that you don't want to do. And it was one of my coaches that actually said, if you can't win today, what can you win at tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that's quite goosebumpy.
Yeah, you're like, that's empowering. I like that.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but like, I love how you said, like, you know, you need food to fuel. I don't kind of use the mentality or the mindset now of eating for eating.
No.
It's not like it doesn't, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just because I've been through so much, maybe you can relate, but I don't feel it's enough. We tried eating for, like, I feel like eating for eating, I tried it and it didn't work. I still
What do you mean, clarify? What do you mean by eating for eating?
For me, the meaning for me is like when I've tried before but still eating but not eating enough, not eating the right things, being inconsistent, missing breakfasts, missing dinners, alcohol, like, you know, eating for eating or drinking for drinking, kind of like waste of time, manipulating, like all of the sort of negative, whereas food for fueling, that just sounds like empowering, meaningful, like the kind of want for me to change, to keep changing, to be better, but in control. Like, I'm in control of putting fuel in my car, so I have to be in control of putting fuel in my body. I think that's the kind of roundabout way.
I know what you mean. And I think, like, using that, for me, I think of fuel like now, which I didn't before. And I'm very interested, I don't know why, but the impact of what we eat, how that impacts our body. So the way my brain kind of thinks of it, and not all the time, because you're not always going to eat things that are, you know, completely whole food, like super healthy. But for me, I know when I eat well, and because I lost my period, like my health suffered. So I know that when I eat better, like my body's been nourished, you know, my skin's better when I drink more. When I eat better, my mood is level, my energy like is level. Going to the gym, like you say, I feel stronger. Like, for me, I view food as like, not always, but like health makes me feel good, nourishment, and the consistency. Because I like when you mentioned about like skipping breakfast and doing whatever, like I used to have really bad rules and rigid things that I would do, and now like balance is very important to me. So obviously having like not structure, but just having like, obviously, no, I don't need to be like, no, I don't need to eat breakfast. Like, no, I get up, I have my eggs and avocado, and everyone who follows me will probably be like, we see that every
you have that quite. I'm like, ooh, that avocado again. Like, ooh, I don't like the texture of avocado. But yeah, it's like me, like overnight oats now. I finally found, like, because I was really bad at them for so long, and I just got them one day and I was like, yes.
You just hit it.
Yeah, salted caramel. I don't swap the protein powder. It's just like Aldi's cheap oats. Like, it's not as if you go and buy all this luxurious food just because you're now feeling for it, or because you're feeling it feels good health wise.
Yeah,
it's like, no. So I've not missed a breakfast since the 9th of December, because I was still really bad, but like, I was never good with breakfast. But since the 9th of December, I was like, nah, this has got to stop. Like, this is just almost like, I would never be harsh to someone, but I was really harsh on myself about it. It was like, nah, you, like, life isn't going to continue here until you like rein it in and get this sorted. And I've never looked back. I don't even go to the gym now in the morning without having something before, and I never did that either.
That's major progress.
I feel like an adult.
Like,
I feel like an adult. That's it, because sometimes I feel like it's not childish behaviour, but sometimes the way that I thought about food or I thought about eating or nutrition was probably in the line of childlike thoughts, behaviours, feelings, emotions. And it's amazing when you go through radical change or identity shifts.
Yeah.
How your mind becomes a responsible adult. Kind of like that stage of you go to primary school, then you go to like high school, then you maybe go to college or university, and then you're just sent out to the real world. Yeah. It's kind of the similar sort of chain of steps to go through. But I wanted to sort of like finish off, obviously, because I think talking about food just makes me hungry now. Like, all the time. So,
I had yogurt when I came home.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you what you are, when you were having a really bad day and you really wanted something so much, but you were depriving yourself of it, what was that food?
What was that food? Probably peanut butter, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
That was something that, not your genetic, probably what
it's
people...
not, I was going to say chips or something, but peanut butter, we'll go with peanut butter, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was either probably something like peanut butter or Nutella, because if I allowed myself to have, like, I went through a period of not having a jar in my house because I deprived myself so much of it. And we know, as probably know, that if you restrict or deprive yourself of things, the more likelihood of you binging on it is high, because obviously you're telling yourself you're not having something. So peanut butter or a cake or something like a pudding, probably that I would normally have, that used to be like an off limit thing for me, because I would just see it as, well, it's wasted calories, it's just sugar, it's not good for my body. Whereas the Alanna now, if I was to have like a cake or a pudding or whatever, like I can have what I need, and when I'm done, I'm good. Whereas before I would have had to eat like 2-3 bits of it, or I would have to go overload, because I'd be like, this is the only time I'm going to allow myself to have it. Like, fuck it, I've eaten more than what I need, like blah, blah, blah. Whereas now I'm more just like, I can have it, like I'm good. Like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, so now, right, Alanna now puts a spoon in the peanut butter or the Nutella or the cake.
Yeah.
What do you feel in that moment as Alanna now, doing that?
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, and I'm very aware of like the taste, the flavor, and I think because I'm allowing myself, it's almost that like permission. I'm like, I can have this, I can have more if I want, but also I don't need to eat the whole thing. And that, Katie, took me years. Like, I never thought I would be able to think like that, because I was one of these all or nothing, like if I have that, I will just overeat, I'm not capable, all those things I used to tell myself. Honestly, I would never have believed you that I could have done that. Even to the point where I would spend X amount of money on the type Pip and Nut, not advert here. I love their peanut butter, and I used to buy the individual sachets in Tesco because I was like, I can't trust myself to have the jar. And it was just through that journey of, healing my relationship with food, that now I can have, like, I've got the jar in my house, it's been there for however long, and I will just have whatever I need. And I'm like, I'm good. But that took years, and also took me a lot of overeating on it as well, because when you expose yourself to foods you restrict yourself on, your likelihood is you are going to overeat in them. And it's showing yourself that compassion and being like, okay, this has happened, don't beat yourself up about it, accept it. What can I maybe do next time that'll help? Move on. Move on, do not dwell on it. Like, it's done.
I love that. Right, okay, what would be if you were designing a menu, right, and you had everyone in the world coming for dinner or coming for food, right?
Yeah.
And you can have starter, main course, and pudding. What is your menu going to be?
What is my menu? The foods that I love, don't know if everyone will love it, but I do. For a starter, I love scallops and black pudding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good choice. Do you have a sauce for that?
We normally have a sauce with that. What would they put on it? Probably like a garlicky kind of sauce or something.
Yeah, do you know what I just like butter. See, melted butter. Yeah.
So I would have that as my starter. For a main, both me and my partner, strangely enough, we both love a good roast. Like, I know some people would be like, oh, I'd have like a linguine, or I'd have pizza or whatever. Like, I absolutely love a good roast dinner with all the trimmings you can think about.
Yeah. What meats would you have on the plate?
Oh, I'd have lamb, I'd have chicken, I'd have probably beef, but cooked well and not dry, because I hate it. Beef is dry.
Yeah.
Wee bit of lamb, like pork. No, fuck it, I'd have it all. I'd have it all.
Brilliant, why not? Like, yeah. If you're going to do
More
it, you need to do it right. Yeah. And what about pudding?
Oh, banoffee cheesecake. My actual favorite. I love it. Like a good, not like a biscuit base with like not too much cream and not like kind of like a good base, good bit of cream with the caramel and the banana on top.
Oh, I can't wait for my invite to this party. Like
my wedding dinner.
Buzzing. I am buzzing for this. And like, just like before we round things off, like from all of our conversations, it's been incredible once again. Like something that someone could take away listening to this that maybe is struggling. What would you say?
Struggling in terms of like the relationship with food or with exercise or just in general?
Just in general.
Never to give up. Like know that, never ever give up on yourself, because it's too easy to do that. It's too easy just to accept where you are, and know that having support, because it can be, if you're someone who's like on your own, that can be really, really hard, because your brain can be really strong to tell you just stay where you are, stay in your comfort zone. Never give up. If you can reach out to at least one person, or if it's either me or you or whoever it would be, for the right support, and just know that you can transform your mindset in your life. You absolutely can.
Love it. I'm going to echo that with, if you can't win today, what can you win at tomorrow?
Yeah,
I think yeah. We're in tune. We never like discussed this, by the way, before we started or anything. We just like go with the flow. But another, I think us highlighting, relationship with food and the kind of stigma that's put on it. I think, we can use our spaces, our platform to do this, and that's why we've came together for episode 2, which is absolutely incredible. I know. It's so good. So good. We talk so much that we just like go on and like, oh, that's the time already. Like, can't believe it. It's amazing. But yes.
Can I say one more thing? Because I was going to say, I think that's really important that you said that. Like, if you can't win today, can't win tomorrow. If you can't win today, did you say what can you win tomorrow?
What can you win tomorrow? Yeah.
I think never as well underestimate the importance of taking small steps, because even one small step, it can feel like, oh, that's not enough. But see, if that's done over time, you will transform. Never underestimate the importance of small steps. Even if it's one tiny little thing that you start changing in your life, whatever that is, small steps add to the big steps. Because sometimes if we take too big a chunk, it can feel too overwhelming. So just take it back, start small, and be consistent.
What a way to finish this off. Alanna, thank you so much once again. It's been a privilege as usual.
You're welcome.